Welcome to Visions, a series of visits to almost everywhere. I'm your host and fellow traveler, Herb Malzman. We're in New York City. We're doing New York City icons, and we're down at Fulton Street and on the corner of Fulton and Water Streets in downtown New York City. We're at South Street Seaport, and we're looking right across at a lighthouse, a lighthouse-type building, South Street Seaport Museum. So the museum is right here. Ships and buildings, streets, piers, shops, tours, exhibits, and events, and traffic coming past. It's about 8 a.m. right now. It is November 27th, 2006. It is a Monday morning, an unseasonably warm November morning. Right now, November 2006 is on the way to becoming a record month in New York City's history for temperature, warmer than usual. We're looking at, again, down at the South Street Seaport. It's also known, well, it's a very little confusing configuration over here. I'm looking right on the corner. Just off to my right is Water Street. We're looking right at Water Street. Then if I look to my left, it's Pearl Street. So Pearl Street on the left side of Fulton Street, and on the right side it becomes Water Street for some reason. But that's the way it is down here. We're also pretty much at the foot of the Brooklyn Bridge, my favorite bridge. Being from Brooklyn Bridge is my favorite. I own a piece of it, as most of us do down here, the more gullible of us. So we all have a little piece of the action here with Brooklyn Bridge. Not really. What we're doing down here today, we're going to be heading over to the South Street Seaport exhibition space, and I think that's the name. We'll walk across the street to check that out. We're going to be seeing a very unusual exhibit today. We're going to be checking out Bodies exhibit, or Bodies the exhibition, and again we'll clarify just what the title of the exhibition is. It's highly extraordinary. It's been playing here in New York City for quite a while. It's been extended. We're going to be checking out some bodies at rest. That's what we're doing. We're going to be with the Bodies exhibition. We're going to do some time over there, check it out. While the Bodies exhibition is not a New York City icon, the South Street Seaport, of course, is. So we're in the midst of an icon, but Bodies is just kind of passing through. It's part of our New York City icons pieces, a Radio City musical we've done already, Yankee Stadium we've done already. We're with Kenny Kramer, the real Kramer, Kenny Kramer, and his Kramer reality tour. And he's sort of an icon, too, from the Seinfeld program. Remember, it's like Michael Richards, it's Kenny Kramer. And he's our most current icon. His reality tour is an icon. Anyway, to make a long story short, I guess I'm too late for that. We're going to cut tape right now. We're going to wait for our guide. I have his first name is Richard. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. We'll get that when we meet with him. So let's get ready to cut tape. You're listening to Visions, a series of visits to almost everywhere. I'm your host and fellow traveler, Herb Malzman, and just to remind you that these pieces are going out, these New York City icon pieces are going out. When these are mastered, they're going to be sent on to the Library of Congress, National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. They will take these pieces, master them, keep the masters, and then send copies out to their foreign exchange program. So you'll be hearing these programs not only first, but they'll be exclusive to you folks coming to the libraries in your country. Cut tape and wait to see a very unusual exhibition today. Cut tape. We are now inside the hall, actually just outside the exhibition space. As you can hear, cleaning is happening right now. There are some notations along the walls over here. Let's just read them out. Look into the heart, into the brain, into the intestine, into the lungs, and leave the exhibition with a greater understanding of how your body works. There's another note up here. Again on the wall, think of your skin as an all-weather coat. Its keratin proteins make you waterproof, and its blood vessels, sweat glands, and hair help keep your body temperature in check. The lights have just gone down just a bit. We were with Richard Ianosa, and I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. But we'll check in with him just in case. He went in to adjust the lights, so they brought the lights down to dim. Another quote, this one from Dr. Roy Glover, medical director. Why all this interest in the human body? The answer to this question seems quite clear to me. Your body is the only thing you carry with you from the moment you are born. until your very last breath. We're looking at some sketches along the wall. Another notation over here. What are bones made of? How do muscles work? Gray matter, white matter, what's the difference? Why is blood red? Why do we need saliva? How many breaths do we take per minute? What is a stroke? Why do women have bigger hips? What does the liver do? What is the largest cell in the body? I don't know if we'll get to all those questions, ask them more, but we'll get a few answered anyway. Richard Ianosa is coming out now. We're going to meet him in just a few minutes. And oh, by the way, the coat, think of your skin as an all-weather coat, is right above the coat check room. So there you go, appropriate to the coat check room. There's a Dasani. Dasani water is good stuff. They have the best water in town right here at the exhibit. Richard Ianosa, is that correct? Ianosa.
Ianosa, that's right.
Ianosa.
That's right. How are you, Herb?
Good, how are you? Richard, give us a kind of the lay of the land over here, what we're looking at before we go in.
Well, right now we're looking at our lobby. That is our entrance, and we come out right over here. There's our retail center. We can buy some catalogs and other kind of books on diseases and disorders, on just the human anatomy and the atlas of the human anatomy, things like that. We also, of course, have our coat check. And as you notice, like above everything that we always have some sort of anatomy and physiology related didactic or quote on the walls everywhere you go, even in the restroom. Like if you come to the restroom over here.
Okay, we're heading to the restroom now. I've been looking forward to this day with both fascination and freaked outedness.
Right. You have the interesting quote that you will eliminate 12,000 gallons of urine over the course of your lifetime and things like that. So everywhere you go, you're going to find some kind of interesting quote about your body.
And what will that fill?
Well, that will fill a small swimming pool. Define small, I don't know what that means, but...
As Richard takes a drink of water. Now, women use the bathroom more often than men for a variety of reasons. Smaller bladders and more fluid consumption, to name two. In June 2005, Mayor Bloomberg signed a potty parity bill to ensure that in all new construction, women will have twice as many bathroom stalls as men. Attaway, Michael.
Attaway. All right, Bloomberg.
Okay.
I was gonna ask the maintenance folks to not vacuum in the galleries for now, so we can go in there and it won't.
No, sound is good, but it's up to you.
Okay. Well, let's get started. You want to hang up your... Actually, we can put your coat in the office if you want to do that for now.
Okay, we're going to do that, and then we're just going to take a quick sound check to make sure we're okay, and then we'll get ahead in. So let's cut tape. Just meeting some of the folks I've spoken to on the phone, and Heather's not in. She's a nice lady. She kind of guided me along when I couldn't make it here last Monday. Technical difficulties. Okay, so we're heading in now. Richard Ianosa.
Ianosa.
Ianosa. It keeps on changing all the time. Okay, we're walking in. I was saying before that I look forward to coming here with fascination and a bit freaked outedness coming here. So
these are our audio guides. They provide a little, enhanced information above and beyond some of the didactics you'll see on the walls and stuff like these right here.
And how does this work? The folks get one of these and they're kind of guided along.
Exactly. They pay a little bit extra to get one of these things. And then they go through and you see all these little signs here. They'll just punch in that number and listen to the information.
Great. And I just want to read here, the specimens you're about to see are real. They have been preserved using a process called polymer preservation. In this process, all tissue water is replaced with silicone rubber to the deepest cellular level. This creates a preserved human specimen without changing any of its structure, allowing you to experience an amazing connection to your own body, the organism closest to you. With that said, we're about to step into a very unusual space. And I love any kind of sound behind the program. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so Richard, let's begin with you.
We always point out, and we point this out right here, that we are Bodies.The exhibition, and we are an exhibition company, premier exhibition. We're a museum quality exhibition company that's based in Atlanta, and we have nothing to do with Mr. Von Hagen's Body Worlds, which is something very similar, uses the same sort of preservation process, but as opposed to his exhibition, our exhibition is solely about human anatomy, and it's solely about public health education.
Right, okay. And then some of the others, this exhibition should not be confused with Body Worlds. Body Exploration, the Universe Within, or Any Other Human Anatomy Exhibition. I kind of think that this is sort of a cut above the rest here.
I think so. I think so simply because, the mission of this one is strictly public health education. As we go through the galleries, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see a lot of these bodies that have various diseases. You'll see effects of lifestyle choices, the guy who drank too much, the guy who smoked, and things like that. So you'll see it.
So what's what is the story with this person? We're looking at skeletal. It's skeletal.
We walk in. Each one of our galleries, 7 of our 9 galleries are dedicated to a body system. So we walk into the skeletal system, and then the muscular system, and the nervous system, and so on. Now we're in the skeletal room right now, and this guy, they left a little bit of musculature on him, as you can see, just a little bit, just to kind of create him. But we have
his right arm.
Yeah. We do have the full skeleton guy over there, but I like this guy. They've left a little bit of his bicep on, as you can see, a little bit of his quadriceps. You can see his hamstring back here.
The hammy.
The hammy.
Right. Okay, so then it must be a football giant. New York football giant.
He must have been.
Something's wrong with him. Okay, so these are not his eyeballs. These are not his eyes.
That's right. In the next 2 galleries, in the nervous system gallery, you'll see the only real eyeballs in the entire exhibition.
And this dissection demonstrates the important relationship between the bones of our skeletons and the cartilage and muscle attached to these bones. So that's what this is all about, the Achilles and so on and so forth. So this is, and you see the spine here, and I'm not touching, and the rib cage, of course, and where one hammy or hamstring is attached, the other isn't. The right hammy is, hamstring again, the left is not.
Do I have that right? Achilles tendon down here?
The Achilles tendon, right? It's sort of like a spur.
Yeah.
It's sort of like as if just attached, kind of like a hinge. Very important tendon, really.
Right.
Hey, before we go on, let's just get a quick phone number, and then we'll give it later on. I gave tickets and all that, so we'll do a phone number now, and then we'll do it at the end again.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
My phone number?
No, the phone number for Bodies.
Oh, phone number for Bodies? I believe
you want to give your home number too? That's fine.
Sure, yeah.
Bodies.
Anybody out there? I believe it's 1-8889-BODIES.
Okay, we'll check that out as we go.
Simple as that, yeah.
Okay, so we're moving in now?
Yeah. And if you want to move ahead of the vacuum cleaner, we can kind of skip the rest of this gallery or read a couple of things. This is probably one of the more interesting things that you'll see, is the tiny little skull of a fetus. You'll also see, now where is it? They're in this one. Smallest bones in the body.
We're looking into a glass case. The fetal skull, internal surface of the base of the skull, external surface of the base of the skull, various ages, and one mandible, blood supply, and nerves. That's in a fluid sort of thing, I guess. Is that a jawbone?
Yeah, that's your jawbone. They show now in the circulatory gallery. You'll see a lot better examples of exactly what.
And it's not attached to anything, by the way. So
now this is a real interesting specimen. You got your tiniest bones in the body right there, and these are the ones that are in your inner ear.
The auditory ossicles, ossicles, tiny, tiny bones, and audible again. What is that? Auditory ossicles. Ossicles, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're moving along. We see a skeleton hanging up at the skull.
Nice little example. Now, right below her chin, we have this hyoid bone. Interesting that a hyoid bone is the only bone that's not connected to anything. So if you have something that's kind of floating out there, other than the kneecap, which the kneecap is sort of, attached a little bit, but this is the only one that is a true floating bone.
What's the only muscle attached only on one end in your body?
I don't know.
The tongue.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. I didn't even think about it. It was a trick question.
There you go.
I was like,
that's almost all I know. Okay.
Now, in these cases, you'll see more examples, of course, of the skeletal system. You know what I mean? You'll see a little bit of the ball socket joints there, and
these again are in glass cases.
Yeah, and I think this is a really fantastic. Look at the tailbone this guy had on there. It's a really long tailbone.
The tailbone, you mean right there? Okay.
Yes, right there, the coccyx.
The coccyx, right.
Yes.
Right.
Remnants of our tail, which actually this guy had a pretty long one.
We had tails at one time, and there it is. There's your, sorry about that, but there's your proof of evolution. So Sorry.
I mean, we still get a lot of debate about that. I mean, we have some comic books at the end, and of course, some people are, well, they comment on how beautiful the body works and how amazing evolution is, and some people comment on it and how wonderful God's creation is. So there's still the debate that goes on in our comic books. Yeah.
We were created with that tailbone.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Well, let's not go religious now. So,
yeah.
Okay, we're looking at.
Now here's what I was talking about. You see, this is the kneecap right there. Now it's a free-floating bone, but you see how it's connected like that? Unlike the hyoid. See how it's connected? This is your kneecap right in there.
You mean the cartilage right there? Okay.
This piece of cartilage and the muscle that goes over it like that.
All right. And knee joint with sagittal cut? Sagittal cut?
Yeah, sagittal cut. As you can see, this is talking about this cut like they'll have either like the cross section, or they'll have this kind of sagittal cut like this, where they kind of cut down the length of the leg like this.
So you're looking inside the bone.
Yeah, so they're actually looking inside the femur.
Knee joint cartilage, and do you get a kick out of this? Do you enjoy coming here?
Oh, sure, yeah. It's one of those things where it's very educational and something that I've learned a lot over the past year. I mean, we've actually been open a year as of the 19th this past month, so.
Plenty of clothing downstairs in the Gap.
Yeah.
You can dress these guys and all that. And then you have the body shop across the street, so perfect placement. And the body never lies. Well, occasionally a body lies, but certainly none of these.
Certainly none of these. They'll lie from their mouths, but not when you look at them. And I think that's what the reason why I think this company chose that logo, and I think it's a fantastic little phrase to use, "the body never lies," is because when you're looking, like when you think about when you were in high school and what kind of models you looked at of the human anatomy, and they're of course a plastic model. You have the little guy with a torso. You can remove his organs, and they're plastic organs. It was real interesting. Now in something like this. It's all real, so everything is unique, because we're all unique. I am a little bit different from you, and I'm the same as you. So, so we look at each other. If I were to look at your anatomy and my anatomy, there's going to be things that are unique about me and things that are unique about you. So, when you come here, you can look at somebody's liver and see why it's different from somebody else and see how it's the same, as opposed to looking at a plastic model that's always going to be exactly the same.
Well, we're about the same height, the same hair, almost,
yes,
although you're in better shape than I am. Oh, okay, there you go. The tongue is made of... Oh, so then it's not exactly true what I said. The tongue is made of 16 individual muscles.
So the real question would be, what 16 individual muscles are only connected on one end?
The muscles of the heart create enough pressure to squirt blood 30 feet. Oh,
I like that one.
We've seen that.
Yeah, we'll try that.
Yeah, we're going to try that later on. If all the muscles in your body work together, you could lift more than 10 tons. Oddly, I see a commercial all the time that we have more bones as a baby than we have as an adult.
That's right. I think they have that didactic over here. 300 bones as a baby, 206 as adults. As an adult, and that's because they fuse together. Of course, they grow together.
So that's how that. So babies
just like the bones in your skull. I mean, when you're a baby, you have the soft spot, and their bones eventually fuse together. Same thing with many of the other bones. In our fetal development gallery, they've actually dyed some of the bones so you can see where that fusion is going to take place.
So we fused 194 bones as we come to adulthood to a 6,300, right? Mm-hmm. And the coccyx at the base of our spine is all that remains of our ancestors' tails.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Again, sorry about that, but children's bones grow faster in the springtime.
Interesting, huh?
We're also taller when we get up in the morning than when we go to sleep at night.
Oh, that makes sense. I feel pretty short at night. I'm getting lower and lower to the ground.
You kind of lose that as you go, so there you go. Okay, so we're looking at, this is the spinal cord right here.
Yeah, fantastic. Beautiful example. And as you can see how they filled in all the, where the cartilage would be? The protective, those discs. A lot of people talk about slipping a disc or pinching a disc, and this is what they're talking about. Now, of course, all that right there is the real tissue. See the white in between here, the bones?
Right.
It's actually the real tissue, but it became very discolored after preservation, so they just add a little white paint to it, a little India ink.
Okay, so then that's the real deal.
They do a few things like that. Like you see the pink. The pink dye on the muscles here, of course, all that color is going to run out of your body after you pass away. So actually, all these muscles are dyed with a little bit of pink color.
Oh my God!
And
so
this is an actual person. A little bit of pink. This is an actual person. So they just add a little. And what they want to do is they wanted to make the bodies as easy on the eyes as possible. It was an exhibition for the public, obviously. You know what I mean? They gave him glass eyeballs because the eyeballs don't preserve very well. They added this little pink dye to the muscles, so just to add a little vitality to the bodies.
So we have a pink dye internally and what happens when we die? What happens then?
This is actually all going to run out. Our muscles are look kind of a flat gray color. But as you can see, we didn't add any color to the organs or anything else. Everything else is just completely natural, just to the muscles.
And what's hanging out here at the heel? Is that the Achilles again?
Yes. Well, this is the Achilles right here. Okay.
And again, it's sort of like a spur, like on a rooster, kind of like you see by the spurs on, but they're facing up rather than down.
Yeah, they used to cut that to keep you from running. You know?
The Achilles heel.
Yeah.
So they would cut that, and you can't. I guess you can't flex. You can't.
Yeah, you could never run again.
That's a career-ending injury right there. It's sort of loose, kind of blowing the wind a little bit. You know, whatever this is.
It is.
Right.
Just a little bit of fat tissue, really. This is what's hanging over right here.
Yeah. And of course, this is anatomically correct, I guess you would say.
No, I would say so. Yeah.
Here, yeah.
Everything is hanging out, and some have bigger than others.
Right.
Much the way the world is.
I would think this is intestine here.
Yeah. We have 23 feet of intestine in our body. Small intestine, that is. Yeah.
That's the small intestine, and is that the big up here? We're looking. I guess it's all small.
You can't see the big unless you get a little bit further in. Here's the big intestine over here. You see it?
We're looking at the left side.
Yes,
we're looking at the right side.
We're looking at the right side, starting at the right side and coming down over to the left and coming in the middle and going on out.
Is this the navel right here?
Yes.
That's the navel right here. And you see half the rib cage is exposed and the other half is showing the... So what has happened to this person? Who is this person? Do we know who this person is? How long ago did this person die?
Well, most likely the person died. All these specimens actually died within the last decade, so they all died within the last 10 years.
Within the last 10 years. And how do you wind up... How long has this body exhibition been around? How long has the Bodies.The exhibition been around?
We've been around for about... This exhibition has been around for about a year, and they first opened maybe about a year and a half ago, I believe. This Bodies.The exhibition.
Now, this person has a family, so how did you go about? How did this happen?
Well, we have information on, of course, all these folks. We get all of our specimens from our partner in this. His name is Dr. Shui, and he's one of the top dissectors in the world, actually. And he does really amazing work, as you can see from his work here. And so he gets all his laboratories are in northern China and Dalian Medical University. They all come from his laboratories. Now, most of the bodies that he gets are going to be unclaimed bodies. He works in a medical university. His laboratories are in a medical university.
Where'd you say?
In Dalian, China.
Okay.
So the city places a lot of bodies in his university because whenever they get an unclaimed body, they're going to find some sort of medical research or medical university to place that body.
So this person wasn't claimed.
Yeah.
Is he of Asian? Is he Asian?
Yes, they're going to be Asian. Yes, they'll all be of Asian descent.
And the grimace that he's in, the mouth, I mean, that this is the way this person died with this. Or
No,
was it
a lot of the faces that they're making were formed that way. Now, some of them were not. That was just their face. I would imagine. I'm not sure exactly if all the faces were formed to make an expression or not. These guys, I would imagine that most of them were.
He's in a grimace, a strong grimace, if that's the term, and he's also getting ready to shoot a jump shot.
Yeah.
Is that a jump shot?
It's a jump shot. Yeah. And we have a guy with the football over here, just on the other side of him. The guy who actually designed these, the doctor who actually designed these poses, looked at some computer animation of people either doing a jump shot or running with a football like this, or we have another guy who's throwing a baseball, and he looked at their faces and tried to copy the determination of the focus on their face as well. And you'll see that in this guy. You see, that's why you see a little bit of a grimace, because he's doing a jump shot and he's really focusing on the shot. Same thing with the guy that you'll see later with the baseball.
And this is a running back, it could be a wide receiver, tight end. Well, it wouldn't be a tight end kind of.
It looks kind of small for a tight end.
Kind of small for it. But these are not his eyes.
No.
And are we looking at the brain here? We can't be looking at the brain.
No, you're not looking at the brain. It's still the skull. It's still the skull, and you still have the outer layer of...
the veins, you see the veins.
Yeah, it's not the skin, but the skin has been pulled off, but it's the layer that just under the skin, you can see the veins that run just under the skin. Over the skull.
And these are not his eyes?
No, they're not his eyes, but they did leave his eyebrows on, as you can see.
The eyebrows, wow. And this is an unclaimed body, again, from China?
That's right, from northern China.
From China. So this is how this comes about, and it's so, you want so much to touch, but you can't touch, but there's just this fascination. I am both fascinated again, and at the same time really kind of, wow.
Yeah,
this is,
it's quite stunning. You know, a lot of people have a very strong reaction to it. If you come around over here to the other side, they do a lot of these little things. You know, you see how they cut this little square out of his gluteus maximus?
The butt.
The butt.
Right.
Largest muscle in the body, your big butt muscle there.
And attached on both ends,
yeah,
by the way.
Yes, and attached on, luckily. As you can see, they cut little windows like this quite often, so you can just see what lies just underneath the muscle.
And we're talking about would that be the anal cavity or the...
Yes, that is exactly what that is right there. But here you can see where the sciatic nerve comes down right here. You see that right here?
Yeah.
It gives a lot of people a problem, so a lot of people are like, oh, that's very interesting. You see where that comes in right there. And they cut just little pieces out of the muscle like that, so you can see how the muscles lay one on top of the other like this, and how they work together. See?
And these are this person's muscles. You look at his muscles here. Mm-hmm. A very sturdy gentleman.
Yeah. He's a very sturdy young man.
He seems very. And the height, I would put this height. Well, the Asians tend to be shorter.
Yeah, generally, yeah, sure.
Generally speaking. So he looks to be probably no more than 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah. Now, most of these guys come from northern China, so I have a few of them who are taller than others. They have, I guess, Mongolian blood or something like that. Something that makes them, going to be a little bit taller. Now, this is an interesting specimen. This guy, these bones this is the same specimen. The muscles have been removed from the bones.
Excuse me? In other words...
You see what I'm saying? These guys, they're dancing together. They're holding each other up like this.
So on the left, we're looking at the skeletal, and what this again is about. It looks like about, I don't know how old these people are, but
they all died before the age of 60.
They all died before the age of 60.
20 and 60.
So on the left, we're looking at the skeletal portion of this person, and what you've done is you've removed the muscle, the musculature, and the skin, and then you've put it on a fake.
No, this is the same. Guy.
But it's propped up not with its original skeletal remains.
Exactly, yes.
And so you've got them. So we're looking at the same person on the right with the fat and whatever else. Again, the anatomically correct. You've got the hamstring and all the joints. So it's the same person, but they're kind of ring around the rosy kind of thing, how do you describe that? They're holding on by the hands?
Yeah, they're sort of holding each other up in a sort of balancing act where the muscles are holding the bones.
I hope we're describing this properly.
Oh, I think so. I think this is one of our most stunning. Like when people walk into this gallery and they see this guy and they realize that this is the same person.
Yeah.
And also as a testament to Dr. Shui's work. I mean, this kind of work is just amazingly meticulous and detailed. Look at to actually remove all of these bones, muscles from the bones like that, and then reconstruct them and have them holding them up. This is just an amazing thing.
Right, and the feet are very close together, and they're kind of balanced and kind of. It's kind of like they're on a lean.
Yeah, they're sort of like a seesaw, Yeah,
seesaw kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So wow, and again, the eyes are not true eyes.
Not true eyes.
The only thing, so far.
And this guy, of course, they didn't bother to put any eyes in him.
All right.
But even if you look in here, you can see his little metal frame that they put in there to hold him up. You see? You see inside there? It's his little metal rib that they have there.
Okay, yeah.
So that's kind of what they had to hold him up while he was drying.
Holy cow. Oh, my daughter says, don't say holy cow, so I'm going to say holy Moses.
Holy Moses.
Our New York City Icons pieces, our Radio City Musical, we've done already. Yankee Stadium, we've done already. We're with Kenny Kramer, the real Kramer, Kenny Kramer, and his Kramer reality tour. And he's sort of an icon too from the Seinfeld program. Remember, it's like Michael Richards, it's Kenny Kramer, and he's our most current icon. His reality tour is an icon. Anyway, to make a long story short, I guess I'm too late for that. We're going to cut tape right now. We're going to wait for our guide. I have his first name is Richard. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. We'll get that when we meet with him. So let's get ready to cut tape. You're listening to Visions, a series of visits to almost everywhere. I'm your host and fellow traveler, Herb Malzman, and just to remind you that these pieces are on the way to becoming a record month in New York City's history for temperature, warmer than usual. We're looking at, again, down at the South Street Seaport. It's also known, well, it's a very little confusing configuration over here. I'm looking right on the corner. Just off to my right is Water Street. We're looking right at Water Street. Then if I look to my left, it's Pearl Street. So Pearl Street on the left side of Fulton Street, and on the right side it becomes Water Street for some reason. But that's the way it is down here. We're also pretty much at the foot of the Brooklyn Bridge, my favorite bridge. Being from Brooklyn Bridge is my favorite. I own a piece of it, as most of us do down here, the more gullible of us. So we all have a little piece of the action here with Brooklyn Bridge. Not really what we're doing down here. Welcome to Visions, a series of visits to almost everywhere. I'm your host and fellow traveler, Herb Malzman. We're in New York City. We're doing New York City icons, and we're down at Fulton Street and on the corner of Fulton and Water Streets in downtown New York City. We're at South Street Seaport, and we're looking right across at a lighthouse, a lighthouse-type building, South Street Seaport Museum. So the museum is right here. Ships and buildings, streets, piers, shops, tours, exhibits, and events, and traffic coming past. It's about 8 a.m. right now. It is November 27th, 2006. It is a Monday morning, an unseasonably warm November morning. Right now, November 2006 is on. Pieces are going out. These New York City icon pieces are going out. When these are mastered, they can be sent on to the Library of Congress, National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. They will take these pieces, master them, keep the masters, and then send copies out to their foreign exchange program. So you'll be hearing these programs not only first, but they'll be exclusive to you folks coming to the libraries in your country. Cut tape and wait to see a very unusual exhibition today. Cut tape. We are now inside the hall, actually just outside the exhibition space. As you can hear, cleaning is happening right now. There are some notations along the walls over here. Let's just read them out. Looking to the heart. Today we're going to be heading over to the South Street Seaport exhibition space, and I think that's the name of it. We'll walk across the street to check that out. We're going to be seeing a very unusual exhibit today. We're going to be checking out Bodies exhibit, or Bodies the exhibition, and again we'll clarify just what the title of the exhibition is. It's highly extraordinary. It's been playing here in New York City for quite a while. It's been extended. We're going to be checking out some bodies at rest. That's what we're doing. We're going to be with the Bodies exhibition. We're going to do some time over there, check it out. While the Bodies exhibition is not a New York City icon, the South Street Seaport, of course, is. So we're in the midst of an icon, but Bodies is just kind of passing through. It's part of our